welcome to my podcast. Don't have a name for it yet, but that's fine. We'll find something.
We'll find one.
I've got Simae here, who is. I mean, what did you want me to introduce you as? Part-time freelance something.
Yeah, part-time freelance marketer and part-time trying to save the world.
Changing the world,
trying
saving
to save
the world.
Trying to save men and women.
What do you want to save the world from? Men and women. That sounds very generic.
Yeah. No, I just I want men and women to start working together.
You want men and women. Okay, let's go back because I know you pretty well, but I don't know your full journey. And it's super interesting. I find the masculine feminine dynamic super interesting, and I know you find it really interesting. Yeah. But there's a lot of girls that I meet that don't give a shit and don't find it interesting at all. What got you originally interested in this? Was it maybe things that you saw in your own life? Was you maybe started reading some Rollo Tomassi or some rogue red pill book? Was it, I don't know, did you clicked on the wrong Reddit forum? What happened? Who scarred you? Who hurt you?
Okay,
we'll
good
start
question.
With that.
I mean, okay, so first off, the girls that you're saying
that
don't give a shit, don't seem to care about these things, they don't care because they don't see how it would benefit them, I guess. They just don't see the depth of it. They might not just be educated enough about it. But I know for a fact that chances are that they definitely have problems in their lives because of the fact that they're not educated about it, right? And the reason I personally am so passionate about it is because, well, I think the most immediate reason is the fact that I grew up watching my parents have a very dysfunctional relationship. And I grew up having a lot of questions, as in, why do they have these problems? Why is this happening? Why am I having problems in my life? And then I realized, oh, it's because I've seen X, Y, Z. So yeah, it just made me go down that rabbit hole and just find out why things were the way they were.
But I think what's interesting about you is because I've got even a friend that I went for dinner last night, she also had a dysfunctional family growing up. I think it's very common, right? Dysfunctional families. And the difference is that her mum pushed her to almost have a hatred towards men, if I can say that.
That's a very common
And I don't feel that vibe with you at all. I feel like you see it as it is, which is we're both, we don't choose it. The way I see it, we don't choose if we're a girl or a man when we're put on this earth.
Yeah.
We're here, and we both do our best. That's my perspective. And we are equal in value, but we have different roles that we can play that maybe our strengths are better suited to.
Yeah.
You asked me the other day, boss babe or housewife. You may, point blank, there's a lot of nuance to it, but I said housewife because it's quite a nuanced topic, but if I had to choose, I'd choose that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because back home in London, for sure, if I said that, I'd get absolutely roasted.
Oh, of course.
I'd get grilled at the stake. I probably would have lost my job. Whereas here, I posted on my story, I 10 girls like my fucking, like my story.
They might not even say it aloud that they liked that topic or conversation, but deep down they do. They're okay with it. They support it.
Yeah.
And it's funny how you mentioned that you met a girl the other day that seemed to have this inherent inner hatred toward men. I was just like that.
Yeah.
For a very long time in my life, I was just like that. I had this idea in my head that, men are the enemy. They're just trying to take advantage of me, hurt me, whatever. But then I realized that I'm literally creating that reality for myself by thinking that way.
What do you think made
which is ironic.
What do you think made you realize that? Because that's quite a deep realization.
Yeah, very deep, very deep. I mean, I guess the type of people I was attracting into my life, I started questioning, okay, but why am I dealing with these problems, whether it's in my relationship, whether it's at my work, why is it? And I'm a big believer in the fact that your outside world does not create what's inside. It's actually what's inside that creates your outside world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And which is ironic because I had this thing where, I had so much hatred, I had so much hurt, and I basically designed this life where my whole purpose was to never ever need to deal with men or need a man or, all these kind of things. But
How
yeah,
do you-
ironically, I literally ended up attracting what I was running away from. And then I guess at some
Was
point
there
I
like a defining moment where you were like, fuck this? Was there like a turning point that you remember?
I think it was something that kind of happened over time. I don't think I just woke up one day and said, oh, this needs to switch. You know, it was something that happened gradually. And also because I was genuinely interested, so I knew that I didn't have all the answers, so I turned to people who did have answers.
Yeah.
You know, I started studying.
Who have you studied?
I mean,
Like, what you look
there,
into?
like we live in a world where we have access to so much information at any time. You just have to be willing and open to receiving the information.
That's true.
You know?
But what's difficult with that is there's so much information. What do you choose to listen to?
Well, first of all, I
How do you
try to
choose?
I try to listen to people. In terms of people, I listen to people who have or have done what they preach, right? So I'm not going to take relationship advice from someone who has a toxic relationship or marriage, right? You're not going to learn how to make money from someone who's broke, right? So I think that's like the most immediate thing. Yeah.
You're laughing at the crisps, huh?
Yeah, these crisps.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, they've become like
Simae, she
center of
texted me
attention.
beforehand. She was like, I said, do you want a snack? Because we're all hungry people.
Yeah, he read
And you were
my
like,
mind.
something healthy. And in my head, I was like, bullshit. No way. I know you want some crisps or some chocolate. I wasn't sure if you were a sweet tooth or savory tooth. So we went for the crisps.
Yeah, that was funny. When I told him in the end, I was like, I want crisps. He's like, I knew it.
I
knew it.
did.
Yeah.
Why, like, what do you find so interesting about this whole masculine, feminine dynamic? Like, you said you want to change the world.
Because I
Why?
think the whole purpose, well, if I'm going to go very deep into this.
We're here.
Yeah,
Go for
I
it.
think
There's no one listening on this roof.
I think human beings were created for two
Go for it.
two reasons, right? To worship God and to reproduce. One of them, worshiping God, in my opinion, is mandatory. It's not something you have a choice in, but reproducing is something that you have a choice in, right? Okay. And in order for the reproduction to happen, obviously men and women have to get along. They have to help each other.
It's yin and yang.
Yeah, they have to help each other, they have to get along, they have to complement each other. But in the world that I live in today, to me, it feels more like people, or let's say men and women, are more focused on competing with one another rather than completing each other.
Where do you, maybe you like have other friends that are like that. Where do you see this really manifest? Is it like relationships? Is it when you guys go out? Is it,
Yeah.
where do you see it?
As in this whole dynamic
Yeah.
where it actually...
Where you said like it feels like often it's competing.
Well, number one is definitely relationships. Definitely. And then I think next scenario would be like, for example, it could be siblings even. Like, let's say me and my brothers, right? Like, for a very long time, I have a brother, right? I have two small, younger brothers. And for a very long time, I wouldn't treat them as my brothers, right? I would try to, show them that, I can too, or I don't need your help, I don't need your support. But then I realized, even though they're a couple years younger than me, I will always need their support. I will always need them to have my back. My brother is better than some other dude out there, right? Whenever I'm in need or I need help
His
or
blood
whatever.
is thicker than water.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and that, again, that goes back to the whole masculine, feminine energy, right? Like, when I lean into my feminine energy with my brother, and my brother fulfills his role as a man and as a brother to me, our relationship is so much stronger and so much better. Like, I can see the difference. We used to not get along, but now we do, because I respect that dynamic. I realize that it has to be there. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep fighting with my brother.
Which is great, and I'm really happy for you that it's like improving.
Yeah.
But what's difficult is that, and I'm saying this as a guy, in a lot of ways I've got my shit together, so I feel like I can say this. There are still things that I'm improving.
Nice.
But if you're a girl and you are basically told, look, you have to trust in a man, because basically what you're saying is you have to trust a guy that has this, that can like lead.
Yeah, ultimately.
I see a lot of guys today that can't lead. Like it's basic things.
That's a whole other
because
kind
like
of worms.
no, and that's difficult though, because
Yeah.
if you're a girl, right, and you're being told on one hand, oh, I need to follow this guy I need to trust in his masculine or whatever you want to, like, however you want to phrase it. But then at the same time, he's actually stupid or like doesn't have his shit together or doesn't know what he's doing. And I've been that guy that didn't know what he was doing before. I haven't always been. I'm not perfect. I never will be, but I'm definitely better now than I used to be.
I think,
right?
yeah, we've all been there.
But it's true, and that's
true.
the difficult thing. It's a difficult situation that girls are put in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, trust this guy, but why should you trust him? Because he doesn't have his shit together.
Of course.
So what do you say about that?
I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I definitely do not encourage women to put their trust in those type of men. But I believe when women step into that kind of energy and have that mindset, those type of guys are automatically going to just run away from you, like, because they understand that they won't be able to, you know, step up to the, how do you say it,
the
like
standards.
Like they'll just understand that they do not fit into your world. Like if he has half a brain, he's gonna feel that. He's just not gonna feel good enough around you, and I think men hate that, you know, feeling not good enough. So yeah, I think if women are in their right mind or right mindset, let's say, she'll just automatically repel these kind of guys. Obviously, you can't do that if it's your brother or your father that you're talking about.
Let me ask you this: you're young, and I can't remember your age. You don't have to say, but you're young. You're very attractive. You're smart. You have your shit together as well. And I'm sure a lot of you're not my type. Don't worry. But like a lot of guys would really want to date you.
Okay.
Now, for you, you don't have a relationship right now, do you?
No.
No. When you look out there, and like the guys out there, is there not? Do you not feel like there's like a lot of trash? Like, because I've also heard this from girls. I have quite a few friends that are girls. I've also heard that for them it's difficult because they're like, where the fuck are the good guys? How do you feel?
Honestly, no, I don't feel that way. I guess I just don't see them. Maybe they exist. Maybe
like you don't see the good ones, or you don't see the bad ones.
I don't see. You know when you said the girls are like they're all trash. Where are the good ones?
Yeah.
I just don't see it that way. And I'm not saying that means that there isn't trash out there.
Yeah.
Trash, but maybe it's just because
trash was the wrong word to use.
Maybe it's just because I don't know. I just don't associate with them. You know, I don't see them. I have decided that men were put on this earth to make my life easier, help me out, be there for me, put a smile on my face. So I guess that's why I tend to see...
I try and make you cry. I try and make you cry.
Yeah, sure. And then
you're like, yeah, sure.
And then I guess that's why... That's the only type of guys I see.
Fair.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the whole thing. What you believe inside is ultimately.
So do you think the biggest thing is to, as a girl, like if you're talking to a girl that maybe watches this, is like their takeaway maybe to change their mindset and actually start to focus on the good? Because it's a classic quote from Tony Robbins, but I love it. It's where focus goes, energy flows.
Literally, yeah.
And maybe it's the same in relationships. When you focus on the healthy ones and what you want, then you can manifest that and find it.
It's my whole philosophy. Like, if I could tell these girls one piece of advice, it is that stop waiting for the men around you to become better. Start with yourself. Start with your beliefs. It's literally just your beliefs that create this reality that you don't like. Yeah.
But it's quite hard to change your beliefs. How do you do that?
It's hard, but it's doable. Like anything that's worth it is usually hard, difficult. It takes work. It takes intention, obviously. It might take some time too, but you'll get there.
Do you find praying to God and being closer to God helps?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
How?
I mean, for a very long time, I mean, my whole life pretty much, I would say that, yeah, I belong to this religion and I but I never actually made God a part of my life. Like I'd pray, I'd fast, I'd do these things, I'd go through the motions, but it wasn't really any deeper connection than that. Yeah. But the moment I started having a deeper connection and making God a part of my life as in whenever I do something, I think of the fact that there's a God above me that actually has my back, wants the best for me, and when I might not have all the answers, when I might not know exactly which path to take, he'll work it out for me. And it works. I realize that it works. So yeah, that as well ties into this whole trust thing, right? Because if you trust that there's a God up there and a God who actually wants you to win, if you allow him, it's going to have a huge effect on your relationships, on everything, pretty much.
Why do you think... Okay, let me start. Do you think that the masculine feminine dynamic was how it is today, let's say 20 years ago?
But how is it today, though? What do you mean?
From what I see, like often quite...
Messed up?
Yeah, messed up.
No, of course not. I think it's definitely
It's gotten worse
with time, yeah.
Okay, that was a leading question.
Yeah, it keeps
why do you
getting
think it's
worse.
gotten like that? And why do you think it's going in this direction?
Capitalism.
You think?
I don't know. I just think...
No, generally, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What you see.
I think there's a lot of higher powers out there who want to destroy that. They want to destroy it. They're looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for the well-being of the family, let's say. They're looking out for their own pockets, and I think it benefits them to destroy that dynamic that I try to preach to everyone, you know? They benefit from it a lot. Like, for example, in Sweden, so I grew up in Sweden, and in Sweden, when a woman has kids, she's expected to just throw the kid to daycare at like what? Like, kid is not even like 1 year old, right?
Yeah.
She's supposed to like just give this child away to someone for them to raise, and then she's supposed to go to work and do these things, and it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. Like, it's literally scientifically proven that babies, children, they need to be with their mothers until like what, 4 years old? I don't know how long it is exactly. Yeah, it's something like that. So who decided that it was morally right to create a system where the woman is just supposed to give her child away like that at such an early stage?
Well, the argument is that then women have their
Equality.
own power and they
Needs
can
to
go...
work.
Yeah, exactly. So what
But
do you say about that?
How's that equality?
I think that a lot of people have been misled and they've been told this is what you want, when in reality it's not actually what they want.
Who wants?
So, okay, let me start again. I think there are a lot of girls that have been misled out there that have been told what you want is like a super successful career, what you want is no man, you want to be fully alone, you want to just like have your kid go straight back into the workforce.
Yeah.
And like have this kind of narrative pushed down everyone's throats for the last 30 years.
They've glamorized something that turned out to be not so glamorous in the end.
But in reality, but in reality, I think what brings a true meaning to life is actually being able to spend time with your family and build real connections with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Like at Christmas, it was one of my grandmas, it was her 90th birthday on Christmas Day.
Wow, okay.
And we were there, 25 people sat around this big dinner table. Now she's a bit blind, but still.
Cute.
Old Italian grandma, the look on her face to have her whole family, her kids, her grandkids, and her great-great-grandkid, and all the like extended family there.
Yeah.
It's such a like heartwarming look.
Imagine that whole room came from
matters.
her.
It's true.
Came from
That's
her,
the beauty.
literally.
That's the beauty that I see, and the way it's actually, I think about that a lot because I try and separate my life, and I'm a dude.
Yeah.
But I separate my life into health, wealth, love. So love for like relationships and all like
family as well.
family,
stuff,
friends, partner,
connection,
and then like spirituality or God as the base. That's like the concrete we got here, underpinning us.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think a lot of people, especially in Dubai, I see it a lot. They focus so much on the wealth.
Yeah.
And they focus so much on maybe the health. You see all the dudes with like they're super shredded.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good thing, but in maybe focusing so much on that, you can lose on this kind of love aspect, which I actually think is important for men and women.
For sure. We're social animals. Like, we need people. People need people, right?
That's why I was about to say, that's why if you have a dog, you're statistically more likely to live. And that's because you spend time with this other creature. You have a responsibility feeling for it. You don't feel alone.
Yeah.
We've all I love animals.
Oh my God.
That's why I do the dog walk.
Oh my
You still
God.
haven't come.
Speaking of pets, I had a cat.
Yeah.
that died last year,
sorry.
unfortunately. But this cat, I kid you not, the way I would express my love to this cat, I have never felt as comfortable expressing my love to a human being as I was to this cat. Like, it got
Really?
to a point where my parents were genuinely worried about me. They're like, Sima, this is not normal. You've stopped going out because of this cat. I'm not even joking.
Because all other men are pussies. So you were left with that one.
Nah, come on.
That's actually a good quote.
Yeah, pets are special. But okay, pets are nice, but please don't replace human beings with pets.
I
I'm
actually
against
agree
that
with that.
too.
I'm against that too.
Like,
I
in
like
Sweden,
dogs,
there
but-
are so many people who are single, don't have friends, don't have a social life, but they have like 5 dogs.
And the dog goes in the pram into the supermarket. I find that weird, honestly.
It's like, please.
And I love animals. I love animals, but I
replace
still
human
find it
beings with
weird
animals.
when you have your dog in your pram and you're like treating it like a baby. Like, low key, it's still an animal. I'm not gonna lie.
True.
What really excites you about what you're doing right now? So you said you want to change how people feel in the masculine feminine dynamic.
Yeah.
What do you find exciting about that?
Yeah, I actually got a text message from someone today. It's someone that I've never met. I don't really know her, you know.
Yeah.
But she texted me out of the blue, you know. She's like, you know what? I really enjoy your content, and it's really helping me on my healing journey. I knew that it came straight from her heart, you know. She's going through something, you know, obviously, like, it's out from what she was telling me. She's like, this is genuinely helping me so much on my healing journey. Keep being you. Like, she didn't say keep posting she said keep being you.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel amazing because it feels like I'm actually having a positive impact. For once, like, it's not something I'm doing for myself, not directly. It's something that I'm doing to genuinely help someone out there. Someone I don't even know, by the way. Someone I'll probably never meet. Yeah, it's a very good feeling. I think everyone should experience that.
I mean, that's part of why I started putting stuff out there too. Because I had to realize it, and I've thought this before, but then I didn't have the most supportive crowd, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's so important, is who you're surrounded by. And I then realized, hang on, I'm learning a lot. Why don't I share this? And even this podcast, even if
you
one
never know
person
who you
watches
could
this,
help out
exactly.
there. You never
Even if
know.
one person watches it and they find it useful,
Yeah.
that's a win.
Yeah.
Because regardless, I enjoy doing this. I think you enjoy it. I'm putting words in your mouth. Maybe you hate. It was a sketchy ladder to get up this roof. I'm telling you guys. We went through some shit to get up
For
here.
sure, we went through some
You were
dark
like, "What am I
fucking
doing?
times.
What have I agreed to?" This guy's.
No, it's literally.
jump.
By the way, like, speaking of that, me growing up and I saw all this drama between my parents.
Yeah.
I always had, like, obviously for a very long time, I had this victim mentality of like, why do I have to experience this? Why me? But now it's completely shifted, and I'm like, I need to take that and turn it into something good. I need to turn that experience, that bad experience, I need to turn it into something good, you know? Not just for myself, but maybe even for people out there.
Well, not maybe. You've proven it today.
Yeah,
with this
I
message.
guess. And yeah, I think that's something.
So what's your dream?
My dream?
Yeah.
Oof. In what sense? I have a lot of dreams.
Okay, tell me one of them. Especially with this, I don't know, do I call it career or I don't know what to call it. But
Me neither.
yeah, because I just do it for the fun of it, to be honest.
We'll find a
But
name.
I think it's quite similar. But yeah, what's your...
My dream.
Yeah.
I think one of my dreams is to see women going back to their natural gifts.
I think
And-
you're filtering yourself.
I am.
You're trying to be careful.
I am.
We can crop it. Seriously, what do you really want it to be?
But I don't know.
You do know, you just don't want to say it on camera.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, in what sense? I have so many dreams.
Well, tell me one of them. Okay, you said you want women to go back to their natural sense. What does that mean?
Yeah, as in, just find their way back to themselves and not go with all this fucking bullshit that's being enforced upon them. That's making them hate themselves for no reason. All these agendas, all this bullshit that we're being fed. and that's got women out here burning themselves out, doing all these things just to prove a point when they don't even need to, you know? And also, at the same time, men just being comfortable being men, okay? Like, we need them. We need men in our lives who are not afraid to do what they were supposed to do on this earth, but somehow, again, they've been led to believe that it's shameful, it's toxic. You can't have aggression in times when aggression is needed.
It's probably partially because I just thought of this. I reckon for men, our testosterone has gone down a lot.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's what they want.
It's true, but
That's
it's a lot like the
literally
food.
what they're
This probably doesn't
working
help
towards.
eating Christian Coke. It's
Yes,
probably
this.
useless.
Garbage.
I'm fine.
Garbage.
That keeps me humble.
is garbage.
This keeps me humble, okay? It keeps me attainable.
Yeah, that's what you tell
Otherwise, I'm
yourself.
too much.
That's good marketing right there.
There you go.
That's
exactly.
what you've been
I
led
thought
to
it matched
believe.
the outfit. But what I was about to say is, I think maybe because like men, it's kind of they'd be muffled, a lot of guys, and then because maybe the testosterone's gone down and another of like, let's say social factors, they're not as like masculine maybe they were before, and don't have this natural tendency to lead to.
Yeah, and a
To
lot
lead
of that
is the
comes
easiest
from
way to put it.
testosterone. A lot
Yeah.
of that comes from testosterone.
It's like, I don't know how
Yeah.
to describe it.
Yeah. No, I have friends who live on the carnivore diet. Like,
Yeah.
they just eat meat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure their coworkers judge the hell out of them. Like, what is this? Are you a caveman or something? But actually, that's what's normal. What they eat isn't normal. Like, I don't think people out there understand the level of brainwashing and programming that we've gone through. And the whole reason behind it is, for example, that men's testosterone has gone down. The Matrix is real.
The Matrix is real. And with that, I have Coca-Cola. To wash that bitter truth
I
down
stopped
with.
drinking Coke like 2 years ago.
I only started this year. Last year I tried
Better
to pick
stop.
up smoking. Because I thought it looked cool in old films.
Smoking what? Cigarettes?
Cigarettes, and I failed. It wasn't addictive enough. Like, genuinely. Yeah, so I went on to harder stuff now.
Oh my
Okay, I'm joking.
We don't say that stuff on camera.
We crop it out. We crop it out. It's obviously a joke. It's obviously a joke.
I know.
But it's the problem. You're cheeky because you cropped what I said the other day.
Which one?
Both times.
It was just retention rate, honestly.
Exactly, because I'm too boring to listen to.
Nah, come on.
I think so. So you, boss babe or housewife? We know the answer to that. You're sat there like, I'm pretty comfy on this roof.
Yes. Love it.
Have you seen Borat? King of the
Borat,
Castle?
yeah.
This is you,
The
King
one
of
with
the
the weird
Castle.
bathing suit. Oh my god.
Exactly.
The green one.
This is your King of the Castle moment,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, something else I believe as well is that the 9-to-5 life or the 9-to-5 workforce is not for women. It's not
Yeah?
designed for women, yeah.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah, because men have so if we look at this from like a scientific, biological perspective, men have a 24-hour cycle, right?
Okay.
You guys wake up in the morning, you're like, let's go get it, right? You wake up, you go crush the day, whatever, and then you crash in the evening.
I never crash.
Well, generally.
That's what I have Coke for. Look at Trump.
Jesus.
Keep going.
Okay. And then, you crash in the evening, then you go to sleep, and then the next day it's like a full reset. You're back
Yeah.
again. It's a 24-hour cycle,
Yeah.
right? Whereas women, we have a 28-day cycle, right? We have 28 days where we go through different phases energetically, right? There are days when our energy is like here, and then there are days when our energy is here, right? It's like waves, right? So that's why it makes zero sense to me to expect women to show up to a job from 9 to 5, 5 to 6 days a week, and they're expected to deliver results every day. When the matter of fact is, if you really sit down and think about it, and if you add it up, we really just have like one normal week in the month where we actually feel normal, when our energy is okay. So yeah, I think
But the counter-argument to
there
that...
needs to be a new system in place or a new schedule in place for women, or there has to be some form of
Well, it used to be like that.
advantage
It
given
used
to
to be
working
like
women. Yeah.
But think from like a capitalist society.
Obviously, that's not going to work.
No, but think about it. What you have is then you have double the people that you can tax. Economic output goes out 2x by having more people in the workforce.
Yeah, for sure.
Tax goes up, and you can collect that tax money and do what you want with it.
Yeah. That again.
You see, like in the US, all these like 200-year-old people that are dead and collecting benefits. Like, what the fuck's that about? Like, do you not see this?
No. In the US.
So like,
I thought that
social
was just
security.
I thought that was just
social
a thing
security.
In
No, in the US, they had like lists of people in bands of like age groups, and it's like 140 to 150, 150, 160, 170, like 200-plus-year-old people that are collecting social security.
But they're in the grave.
Literally, that's the point. That's the point.
I thought that was just a thing in third world countries.
No, in the US. In the US.
Wow.
In the US.
Nice.
Which is kind of wild. Which is kind of wild. What I'm trying to think.
What has been a struggle for you in your relationships with women? Maybe in regards to this whole thing. Because you said that you used to be a guy that didn't really know where he was going, what he was doing. How did that show up in your, let's say, in your romantic relationships?
Okay, I'm happy to talk about this. So, I kind of went through my own transformation because I was like the 14-year-old, 15-year-old genuine loser in my school. Like, no joke. I remember going to like this dude in my class saying, "Hey, can I like be invited to this party that's happening this weekend?" Like, I was that guy.
Aww.
It was just sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
And then what happened is I got into sports and I got really good.
What sport?
Rowing.
Oh, okay. That's unique.
It is unique.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a unicorn. And and so I did that, and I went from being terrible, like so bad that I wasn't even allowed to race.
Oh, wow.
I was like, had to steer the boat, and I didn't even want to. I actually wanted to race, but I was too bad.
Yeah.
I remember the list. I was at the bottom, dead last.
No,
and I went from that to 2 years later being one of the best in the country.
Wow.
And even competing internationally for GB against France.
Wow.
And that happened in a very short period of time. From like 14 to 16, I changed. I went from being the weirdo that wasn't invited to I hosted a party at someone else's manor. Like, I arranged the whole party, but it wasn't my house. I was like, I'm hosting a house party at yours.
You just got the people.
Literally, I would arrange all the house parties for everyone. I would invite everyone. I would also try and make a concerted effort to invite the weirdos.
No.
I tried. Because I was like, it's such a
felt.
shit feeling to feel, like, such a shit thing to feel outside.
Yeah, oh my
right?
God.
So I did genuinely try and do that. And there I got my like first girlfriend. I was with her for 3 years. It was a bit weird because you're kind of like at school, and you know, I'm not sure if like it was
doesn't really count.
True, in a way.
Yeah.
I think it was more like
you're just starting
like
to
same social circle. Like you're 17, you're still quite young as well, to be honest. Then what happened is that it was really interesting because when I went to university, I remember I went to Manchester University, which is a super liberal university in the UK.
Okay.
And I remember it got to a point, I think a lot of it was like subconscious by hearing all these stories and like this kind of men are trash just all the time. Oh my God. That I remember literally having several, like I kind of went through my own trauma, I won't go into it now.
Yeah.
But I remember like it got so bad that I would be there with a girl, like on a date, goes really well, and I would literally be like, my legs would be fucking shaking to kiss her. Like I would literally be like shit scared, like so scared.
Yeah.
And I think I was scared about if I make this move, people are going to think I'm a rapist. If I make this move, people are going to think like I'm like some evil dude. Just because it's been programmed into my head that like guys are trash and like I'm going to hurt this girl. But really like we're having a fun time. I just want to kiss this girl, which I think is actually quite an innocent thing. And like these days I go for a kiss all the time. Like sometimes it gets rejected, but that's fine. I'm half kidding. Everyone wants to kiss me. Everyone wants to kiss me.
Yeah.
But I go for a kiss, and if sometimes people don't want to kiss me, it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with being attracted.
To the rejection.
Low key. But it's nothing wrong. Like I'm like taking it as a compliment, you know.
Yeah,
I don't do it in an autistic way.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just being honest, right? But I kind of went through that transformation of
this
feeling.
This is probably one of the most non-politically correct podcast.
That's why it has no name. No name. But I went through this journey.
Yeah.
And like even in that, like even in my relationships, like before, I think I've been pretty good like organizing things and leading things for a while. But nowadays, I'm like, I really do have my shit together. Like, I know what I bring to the table, which is a lot. I'll be honest, financially, I'm not fully where I want to be yet. But everything else, like, I'm pretty fucking good. And the finance will come, because that also comes with time too and hard work. So
It comes with self-belief as well.
I got that, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see,
But,
that's good. Again, it's the inside that creates the outside.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny you say that? I've been in Dubai for 5 months and I've already started to see that.
Yeah.
Because I think coming here to this city, I don't know how you found it when you moved here, but for me, it was like
Things
like
just
a
started
reset.
happening.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
no, but a few things. One, like my identity I was like, I can make myself who I really want to be.
Yes, you no longer have to fit into this box that they created for you.
Because it's your new box.
Oh my God, yes.
And I read like a lot of people, like a lot of successful people, like a lot of great leaders, like even like Napoleon, people like that, Caesar. These people, what they did is they moved.
Yes.
And what that does is it forces you to completely start from scratch
Yeah.
in the best way possible.
Yeah, oh
so actually, if
my
I have one bit of advice, is fucking move.
Leave your home.
Leave your hometown. Yeah, leave your hometown or country if you can.
Leave it. Leave.
Especially in today's day and age, you can get a remote job.
my
It doesn't
God.
matter where you are, but it's so good for you. Like it's really.
Yeah, I made a video about that today. Literally, I haven't
Tell me.
posted it yet, but I made a video saying that it's been 1 month for me, not even 5 months.
Wow.
1 month for me here in Dubai, and it's like I'm feeling this version of myself come to life that I didn't even know existed. But oh my God, I love her. I love her. And the reason why is because I finally have this space and this safety to be that person. Because back home, I was constantly, and it's something you do without even realizing,
It's
by the way.
subconscious. It's
so
subconscious.
subconscious. Like every move, the way you pick this water bottle up, you think, what are my friends and family going to think? Because you already know what they think.
You saw how I opened that bottle before.
Over there.
Confidence.
At home, you wouldn't do that.
I would.
Yeah, like literally leave, just get out. You're going to be so surprised. I don't know, things are just so easy now. I don't have to think twice about doing things now because I know that it aligns with me. It's me, it comes from me. I do it because I want to. I do it because it feels right. That's it. I don't go further, asking what will my high school teacher think? What will my friends, Even if it's your best friend, even if it's your closest people, they have put you in a box.
Do you think it's also because that now you're here, the people that you're surrounded by are very inspirational in the best way?
And it's intentional as well. Like
I'm the same.
I intentionally put myself in those circles. Yeah, that's also a very.
So how did you
thing.
find those circles originally? Because people struggle with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it happened in the first week I came here. And social media. Yeah.
DM slides. Yeah.
Honestly, Facebook.
Facebook.
And you know the events that we go to
Yeah.
every Wednesday. I literally messaged a guy that I had in my network on Facebook. I know he's like in the same space, like internet marketing space as me. Hi, and I know he lives in Dubai. Never seen the guy, never really spoken to him. I messaged him. I was like, hey, are there any events happening in Dubai, whatever? Randomly. He's like, oh yeah, there's this event. It's happening today, actually. You should go. It was the Wednesday.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, I'm not even kidding. So yeah, here we are. I've been to like five of those events 5 weeks in a row.
They're really good. I
And
like
I've
them.
met
I like
you.
them.
I've met you. I met so many other people, and like we've become friends. Because we all want something.
Yeah.
We all we're ambitious, but we're also
We're real
like-minded.
people.
Yeah, we're also
Yeah.
like-minded in a lot of other areas
true.
as well. So yeah.
I think what's also cool is spending time with people like this, who are super successful, is it really breaks your limiting beliefs. Because it's one thing like before being in London, like you kind of think like, okay, I can make a lot of money, I can do it, blah, 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 blah,
It's
blah.
never gonna happen
But-
unless you hang with people.
Now I'm like surrounded by I'm so poor in my friendship group. I'm actually in a weird way like
The
happy.
bar used to
I
be
find
here,
it
now it's
hilarious.
here.
No, like people make so much money around me in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this dude is normal.
Yeah.
You know? Or even like, I won't say his name, but like, that we met a famous comedian the other day.
Yeah,
He messaged me. You know what's crazy? He messaged me the other day. He was like,
No way.
bro, you're so genuine. I want to hang out with you.
No way.
Which is so nice. So I'm going to
Wow.
hang out with him tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
Right? And that's also like, you see the guy on Instagram, has like 1 million followers.
You get intimidated.
Same, or like
Yeah.
same with one of the guys I go gym with. He's got 2 million followers on Instagram, which I didn't even know at the start.
Yeah.
Which is part of why like
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
And that's the superpower, is not giving a shit and not treating these people differently.
Yeah,
That's my
exactly,
mini rant.
exactly.
Because what happens, it's the same as a girl. If you meet a guy and you can tell he's like, fuck, this girl's so attractive, like, and he starts acting not himself, you're instantly
Ick.
like, nah, ick.
Ick.
It's true, but it's not just
Ick.
girls, it's guys as well.
Yeah.
That's what I realized. Successful guys, successful women, or beautiful women,
Yeah.
we all have the same thing. Even now, I sometimes feel it when some dudes like, it's like they're like a rabbit, or like, you know, one of those little dogs that are trying to fuck
Yeah,
your leg.
yeah,
Like, that's
yeah,
how it feels like.
Oh my God.
Leave me alone. Okay, we'll block that out. It's a perfect analogy, though. You know, it's literally like, get off me, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right? It's
And
not
we
a good
see it-
energy.
We've seen a couple of those type of guys
It's
at
true.
the event, you
We
know,
do,
and I
we
can
do.
sense it directly. I can
You can
sense
sense
it right
it.
away.
You can sense
Energy,
it. It's
energy.
uncomfortable.
I'm telling you, energy is so. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel energy like from miles away. I can tell exactly your level of confidence, your level of self-worth, what you think about yourself, what you want to do, what your intentions are. I can tell very well.
That's why I wear the tinfoil hat.
Which tinfoil hat?
Yeah, you can't read through me.
Oh
You didn't get the joke.
no, I didn't.
No.
Is that
It's
is that
a joke,
UK
like
joke?
people. No, it's like I think it's like a Simpsons joke. No, Futurama joke.
Oh, okay.
If you wear a tinfoil hat,
People
the whole
can't,
joke is that people can't go through and get into your brain if you have a tinfoil hat on. Now you need to look up your memes.
I'm a bit behind.
A bit behind. You're
Yeah.
busy reading books. What are you
Yeah.
reading right now that you find really good?
The Art of Seduction.
The Art of...
By Robert Greene.
Really?
Yeah.
Who
Why
are
are
you
you
trying to
laughing?
seduce? That's why.
But seduction isn't just between men and women in romantic settings.
That's fine. I don't judge. You can like who you want to
We
like.
seduce everyone. Children seduce their parents.
Okay.
Yeah. Literally.
Okay. But what have you learned from it?
Seduction is just having enough influence to get people to do what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be
And
fair,
it's
I was coerced onto this route. It was her idea, not mine. She's going to push me off after.
I forced him here.
Yeah.
And it's
At
also.
gunpoint.
Can you be serious?
I'm serious.
Okay.
Stop laughing.
So I can't.
You're having too much fun.
When you laugh, I just laugh.
Oh, it's because I have bad energy.
Contagious. No, good energy.
Yeah, it's sarcasm.
So, what was I saying?
The art of seduction.
Yeah, you need to
You're trying
study.
seduce
You
me.
need to study the art of seduction, not just so that obviously you can get your way in this world, but to protect yourself as well
Yeah.
from people who want to make you do things that you don't want to do or shouldn't do. Yeah, so it's a two-way thing. Yeah, you should read it.
I should read it.
Yeah.
I'll learn to read first.
Really? No way.
What do you mean no?
You can't read?
Of course I can't read.
Of course you can. What
Of
do you
course I
mean?
can read. You thought I couldn't read for a second?
Oh, unpredictable. He's so unpredictable.
Do girls like unpredictable men? I'm not saying you like me. Don't worry.
Can we stop with those jokes?
It's funny. I think it makes you slightly uncomfortable. And I find it
it
funny.
does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
No, wait. It was a good question. What was the question?
Huh? Do you like men that are slightly unpredictable?
Men that
Like
are
a bit-
slightly
a bit batshit
unpredictable
crazy.
in good ways.
Okay, what's a good way?
There are men that are unpredictable in the most horrible ways, and
Give
that
me
just
examples.
creates.
Because you don't want some guy to start being all
Okay,
jittery.
some guys are unpredictable in the sense that you can be sitting with them somewhere in public, and then you might say something that you didn't mean any. You didn't have any ill intentions, but then this guy completely loses his shit.
Wait,
in
you
front
like
of
that?
people. No, I'm saying that's unpredictable in the bad way.
Okay.
That's unpredictable in a negative way, right? But
Yeah.
unpredictable in a good way is guy comes and he's like, pack your bags, we're going somewhere. Not gonna tell you where, That's very unpredictable.
To be fair, I did that not long
But in a
ago.
nice way, you know? The other day, actually, I don't know who it was in my circle, they're like, yeah, women love unpredictable men. But then what he meant was more toward the negative side, and I'm like, yeah, true, we do like unpredictable men, but not in the way you think, right? It has like, there's like two sides of the spectrum.
I think so. If we're talking about like dating and relationships, I think what women love, and I'm a bit of a romantic, it's my Italian side, is I think it's so nice as a girl to be like whisked away on this kind of like romantic love story.
Yeah.
So like there was a girl I was seeing.
And she'll only do that if she fully trusts you and knows that you will respect her boundaries.
For sure.
That, you know, she can literally go away, fly away with you somewhere, and everything's going to be okay. She's going to come back home in one piece.
No, that's so true. And that's why you need to have your shit together, like I said.
Yeah.
One thing that I did, which I thought both of us found so fun, is I said, Friday, keep your weekend free, pack a bag. No, she had no idea.
Yeah.
I picked her up, and she was like, where we're going? Honestly, I was like, we're going camping. But I didn't know where. I'd never been before. So I just put a pin on the desert in the map. And I just drove there. And we're like, guess we're camping here. No. Yeah. Dead serious. Dead serious.
Yeah.
That shit's fun.
That's unpredictable in a very nice way.
Yeah. But you don't even have to travel like that. Like, it could just be like...
No, it could be simple stuff. Like,
just like random surprises and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So if you want to be mysterious, unpredictable, make sure it's in a good way.
Yeah, like do
Not
podcasts on a roof. Don't do it in a studio. That's actually a good example.
This thing is crazy.
I tried to prepare you. I tried to be like, it's a strange studio. And you were like,
I
okay,
never
sure.
thought
like,
I would end up in
next
Dubai
to the AC units,
on a rooftop with Burj Al Arab behind me.
Look, it's going blue.
Recording a podcast with bricks.
It's a nice table. I thought it adds to the ambiance.
Yeah.
Adds to the ambiance.
You did a good job.
Did a good job.
It does the job.
So, should we call it there? Thank you very much for listening to our... What do you want to... Do you have any idea for the...
Non-politically correct.
Non-politically correct. I think it's very political. I think it's honest. Honest podcast.
Yeah, but now... Simae, what Simae says, but they're not going to be able to...
I will write it after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram.
Okay, we'll put it in
What
the...
Simae
We'll put it
says.
down below.
Yeah,
I'm pieroladhur, and you've been listening to the podcast. Doesn't have a name yet.
That doesn't have a name yet.